Hello, today I have a message called Have Faith. Okay, the short version. You can have faith that everyone can play the role that peace gives them. Call in the miracle. Remember that everyone is walking with you. Ego thoughts block vision, and vision will lead you. Focus upon the pure, which is present everywhere, behind every surface. Okay, so you can have faith that everyone can play the role that peace gives them. Having faith in everyone is having faith in everything, is having faith in myself. So if I want to see the unified whole that loves and supports us all, that is the love amongst us, having faith in everyone and everything supports me. You can have faith that everyone can play the role that peace gives them. So we're all given instructions, and we can get our instructions from either peace or chaos. And the more we look at how we feel and we find the thoughts we believe when we don't feel good, we give those thoughts to Spirit and we allow ourselves to be guided. We never have to compare ourselves with anyone we call other. In fact, when we're in comparison, we feel terrible because we've lost faith. We've lost simultaneous faith. There's no way of comparing me to you. Let's say you've had what look like glorious spiritual experiences, and let's pretend me over here, I've had nothing, a very ordinary life. There's no comparison. We are the same. But what I can do is have faith. I can have faith in what I actually am, no matter what experiences I seem to have had in the past. It's in the past for both of us. No matter what glorious spiritual experiences anyone has seemed to have, that's in the past for anyone. And let's say there's the one who calls himself or herself ordinary and says, well, I haven't had any. Also in the past. I can have simultaneous faith in everyone, and that doesn't involve comparison. And in this place of simultaneous faith in everyone and everything, then the instructions of peace are available to me. Then peace can lead me, and I can see peace leading you. Call in the miracle. So ego would talk about all the problems we're having, but behind every problem is a miracle. So what we need are shifts in our perception, so we stop pretending we are where we aren't, and we start to remember where we have always been. So pointers, pointers, pointers to remind us of how loved we are, to remind us of how much we love everyone, to remind us of what's real and what isn't real. And if I'm listening to ego's judgments are going to be very specific about all the problems it can see with every specific thing or person or circumstance or condition or past or just all the problems. And of course we're still going to perceive problems. We're going to bump into these things until we're done fooling ourselves. But the important thing to focus upon is the miracle behind the surface of the problem. That miracle is going to give everybody their instructions. That's the director of the play. And if I have a part, if I have a line in this scene in the play, then that energy of that miracle is going to tell me what the line is, going to tell me what my stage directions are, and I can carry them out. Why? Because it's the one of us carrying them out. All of us are the one of us, and the one of us can carry out any seeming words or actions that are needed in this play as we walk home together through and out of our hallucination, our fantasy. And it's better if I bring it close to home and say that it's mine, because when I take responsibility, I recognize the complete whole self, the whole connected self. That's the energy of the spark of which is present and alive within everyone and everything. By taking responsibility myself, I make the self one. I remind myself of what is real. So call in the miracle. Our awareness of miracles probably not good to think of it as a spectacle at this point, although it could show up like that. A miracle could show up like something that everybody would comment upon and think is a wonderful thing, or it could show up seemingly as nothing at all. That part doesn't matter. The part that matters is that there's something instantaneous at work here, and wherever we've misperceived, it can fix that. So a problem isn't actually a problem, it's a misperception, and it can always be set right. So thinking about the perception being set right is oriented more toward the miracle, more toward recognizing that what's going on here isn't real, so it's very easy to change how we're seeing it. Okay, remember that everyone is walking with you. Yes, if I don't keep you by my side, I lose myself. So everyone has to be walking together. Let's look at all the public figures. They're not behind us, they're not ahead of us. We're all walking together. I can't leave a single one of them ahead of me or behind me. We're all walking together. It might seem sometimes I lead and they follow, or they lead and I follow, but that's a seeming. That's just how it looks now, and how it looks can change very easily according to our needs, and how it looks doesn't matter when it comes to how it really is. How it really is we're one self, we're together. And so when I call in the miracle, when I remember everybody's walking home with me, I put all the pieces of the self together, and I don't leave any pieces of myself behind. Let everything integrate. Let everything unify. Let us remember who we are together, because apart, that's the fantasy. Apart from each other, that's the hallucination. We've had enough of the hallucination. We want some relief from the hallucination. So remember that everyone is walking with you, and where we don't feel good, we're refusing to acknowledge that someone is walking with us, or even something. Let's say you're mad at an inanimate object because it doesn't seem to be working for you. Well, the essence of what that is, that's with you. That is you. It's not your enemy. It's not opposing you in any way. We can pretend, we can fantasize that something separate exists that can oppose us, that can oppose our will, our fake will we have here, for separate things to happen. But that's all we can do. And when we recognize we're pretending, then what's the use in keeping up this front, keeping up this facade that we're battling against things? We don't have to battle against anything. Ego thoughts block vision, and vision will lead you. So I need vision all through the day, meaning not judging and analyzing all the separate components of what seem to be here and saying which ones are problems, which ones are good, which ones are bad, which ones are beneficial, which ones are harmful. All that busy mind activity, I don't need that. I need the thought spirit would give me. And the thought spirit gives me, make everything very obvious. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to think of this? How am I supposed to see this? Spirit will be very direct and obvious. And I like what A Course in Miracles says about the doings. It's not only will Spirit make everything clear, Spirit will do it for you, through you. So, I mean, that's what you are. You are Spirit. And so to come into the full recognition of that and allow it, just let Spirit work through me today. Let Spirit work through everything I see today. Let Spirit work through everyone I see today, no matter what past perceptions I seem to have. And political figures is a good thing to allow Spirit to work through, because they seem distant, and it seems real that they're corrupt, or real that they're angry, or real that they're whatever they seem to be. That's not real. That's not Spirit. That's not who they are. And you're very powerful. You can invite Spirit in through everyone and everything, as long as you're not holding any of your past judgments in the way. That's how immediate it is. That's how powerful it is. That's how beneficial it is. Sometimes when we see the sheer immensity of the power of spirit, like ego's fear comes up about being destroyed. So you almost wouldn't want to do that to someone else. Like, I don't know if they're ready for this full power of spirit to come washing through them. They are that power. Don't worry about them. That's not their ego you have to worry about. That does wash the ego away. The light, the ego fades. That's right. You will recognize them as yourself. You will see them as equal to you. And it's okay to allow that immensity of the power to wash in through everyone and everything. And then here you get to see if there's a part you're still attached to, some thoughts about, well, I wanted to lead the vanguard. I wanted to get there first and then look good and then everybody would follow me. And I wanted to get some credit or recognition for getting there first. Or not. You could just be happy seeing reflections of what you are all around you. So there could be some entanglements in that area to look at and to allow to wash away. Okay, so ego thoughts block vision and vision will lead you. If I'm not feeling good today, I'm allowing ego thoughts to block vision. And vision is what makes me happy when I see you. In the past, it might have been the idea of getting my way or the idea of seeing something pleasant in you versus unpleasant. And that would make me happy. And I could see that was getting my way, ego's way, was never true happiness. Seeing something that the ego calls pleasant in you was only temporary and was never true happiness. But seeing spirit in you, seeing love extend through you, seeing the gentleness that spirit is in you, seeing the sheer power that spirit is working through you, and that means I let it work through me, that's my happiness. That's equality. That's walking together. And that's letting vision lead us. Focus upon the pure, which is present everywhere, behind every surface. So it doesn't matter what the ego tells me about someone else, about you, about anything. It doesn't matter what that voice says. When I'm not feeling good, I'm listening to that voice, I'm believing that voice. And I'm forgetting ever-present purity. I don't care how bad the surface of someone or something looks. It's another mind trick. And behind it is the purity that's real. The purity, my purities linked to your purities, linked to everything else's purities, linked to everyone else's purity. It's one purity. We all share it. And it's more real than anything fear would project upon the surface of someone or something. And go ahead, if there are ego fears related to this, let them pop up. Find out what they are. Take the thought to the light. Because in the light, the thought's just going to dissolve and fade. Focus upon the pure, which is present everywhere, behind every surface. When we're done fooling ourselves, we'll acknowledge what has been here the whole time. It's like playing a video game a lot and finally really getting a good idea about, this is how I get to the last level of the game, and then it's over, right? This is the over part where we stop playing a joke on ourselves, where we stop pretending that any being can be anything other than pure. Yes, in time and space, they can have any role. For Halloween, you can dress up as a devil or an angel. It doesn't matter what costume you're wearing right now, or it doesn't matter what costume anyone else is wearing right now. Underneath the costume, they are the same purity they've always been, and nothing can touch that. And because that's true of them, anyone you call other, it has to be true of you. And that has to be true of God or Source or whatever you're going to call this huge power. That's the only thing that's real, that unites us all, whatever you're going to call that. That is pure. That is not evil. That's not going to get you. That's not going to punish you. It's the only power that exists, despite what we might be hallucinating, fantasizing, pretending in this world, where we believe there can be a power for evil. The only power there is this purity of power, this love That's the only real thing. And when we're tired of fooling ourselves, then we're willing to remember it and willing to allow it. And then the beautiful point is where we can say, yes, work through everyone and everything in my experience today. I allow it, because you can. Everyone can allow it. And it is that simple. Okay. So happy healing, happy practicing. Thank you.